So if you guys have watched previous videos, you'll have seen Tony pop up in a number of them, and I don't know if I've ever really explained who Tony is and how we met. Tony and I met in basic training, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, 2003. Went to our duty station together in Alaska, went to Iraq together, came back. He moved on to California, where he is from. I came back to Arizona, but while we were in Iraq, we always talked about coming back here and getting together, hunting. I loved coyote hunting. He wanted to get into it, and so we made this tradition to he'd always come out here once a year, once every other year, as often as we could. You know, family and life gets in the way sometimes, but we've always made it a point, and this trip is one of those. It was a great trip, 2.5 days. We ended up meeting with Nate, Ryan, and Aaron on the second days, but overall, great trip. So let's get to it. Well, we're walking back from the very first stand in the morning. We camped out, threw the rooftop tent up. Struggled a little with that. Eventually got to bed. Woke up. I love when you're in good coyote country, just waking up, not driving anywhere, walking right out of camp and making a first stand. That's what we did. Right off the bat, I wanted to call an area that looked a little better, but the wind was wrong, so we ended up calling this little hillside, little valley, and had a couple coyotes respond and come in. But for whatever reason, they just didn't want to make it the final leg there, and Tony couldn't get on them in time, and they busted out of there. But we had more coyotes howling around us. The day is early. Always good seeing coyotes on the first stand. But we need to get one in that truck now. So hopefully it's a fun one. Stay tuned. Check it out. All right, so the second stand here, we just hopped over the hill after the first one, found a nice juniper we're sitting next to. It's 15 minutes in the stand or so. I've gone through a number of sounds, and Tony says coyote. I never really saw the coyote. Ended up being about 65, 75 yards out. Come on. 60 yards. Missed it. He shoots, misses, coyote runs off, and I try to get on the coyote, and I'm trying to stop the coyote at the same time. He stops about 175, gives him a second shot. There you go. Shoot that thing. Missed it again. Doesn't happen, but that would be Tony's first opportunity on a coyote. That trip, he hadn't hunted in 2 years. Like I said, he's pretty fresh, doesn't do a lot of hunting whatsoever outside of what he does with me. So it's been a while. He's got a new gun. There's a number of excuses there, but the experience with Tony, having him out there, is more than Miss Coyotes could ever give me. So what happened, man?
I don't know. Well, the first shot surprised me. That's a nice trigger.
We had a little bit of luck after the morning and through the morning. Called in some coyotes, hit some coyotes, missed some coyotes. Fortunately, didn't get a lot of that on film. Had some camera malfunctions. I think we had one little snippet of Tony actually holding up a coyote, but everything else somehow got lost in the data field. I don't know what you want to call it, but lost a lot of footage, needless to say. So it's middle of the day, and decided to switch it up, started using the hand calls, had the 4K9 working there, and coyote just comes rushing in. We didn't really see it until it was kind of too late and right there in our lap. Get on it. Shoot it. God damn it. Hindsight, probably would have just rolled on this coyote and shot him running. He was probably only 20 yards at the time. Like I said, Tony doesn't have that experience or knowledge base, so it was fine. However, if you look, coyote rolls in, skirts around, and we get to barking and howling. Eventually stop that coyote about 100 yards. Tony shoots, misses. I get the Pup Distress 3 going on the FOXPRO. 5 minutes later, I look over my right, and there's a coyote just standing there, and he doesn't really know what's going on. He's kind of looking around. Unfortunately, didn't get that one on film. I told Tony to hand me the gun. I tried to get the shot because it was between Tony, myself, and then the coyote. I couldn't get it because there was a bush in the way, so I ended up having to get up and move around. Got the coyote down on the ground. Luckily, fortunately, there was some bad luck on our side for the last couple stands, so it was good to get one under our belt, but not on film. Oh shit, there's a coyote right over here. There's a coyote right over here. Right over here. Give me the fucking gun. He's just standing there. Oh, way over here.
See him? Dropped him.
Got him?
Yeah, I dropped him. He salvaged it?
So after that last stand, I wanted to get Tony on a coyote. He shot a couple already in that morning, but it had a nice little span there of either missed coyotes or just blank stands. So wanted to get him on a coyote. I knew a spot, 90% stand. Wanted to get in there. Really give him a good opportunity on a coyote. Sat down, started calling on this stand. There's only been 2 spots that these coyotes have come from. And after this stand, let's just say there's now 3. Behind us. You see him? Get on him. He's still standing there. He's still standing there. Shoot it. Shoot again. Holy fuck.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Dude, I had to hit this motherfucker.
You did. Go run up there and get it. Behind the tree. Get behind that bush. Get around that bush. Slow mother. Straight ahead. Look, you hit him right here. He's right there. Dude, you need some new eyes. Dude, there was 3 of them at least.
I heard them.
I know.
Beating in here. I saw one over here, and 2 of them come picking around that bush.
But you got it. You think you got it on the first shot or second?
Both.
Both. We'll say both. I don't know how much I got on film. I was trying to turn it, and the freaking thing was like falling over. And it's behind us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's one, and there's one, and there's one. Whoa!
Dude, it just stood there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I went like this. I'm like, oh shit.
It's a cool fucking feeling though, you know? Like,
I know when I heard
dude,
that fucking thing.
God, when you hear them coming in, like, oh yeah.
Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. They were like, we're about to get some of this action. How about that? 90% stands, I think now 95. Day rolled on and got a little later in the day. Tried to try out some new country and looked really good. However, the cover just started to get smaller and smaller until it really wasn't a whole lot around. But decided to make the best of it. Propped ourselves up next to the biggest bush we could find on this hillside. Happened to be about 12 inches tall. But it shows you here on this stand, if you're just, do not move. That is key. Movement is key. Not so much as your camouflage or you know, your profile even. If you have something that can break up your profile, even if that's a 12-inch bush, use it to your advantage. Do not move until you absolutely have to or when the moment's right. That's what we did here. Coyote came in to well within shooting range. I think Tony just moved at the wrong time, had to move at the wrong time. Coyote spotted our movement, but second mistake on this this stand was not letting that coyote stop. Always, 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 if you can, have that coyote stop for you and present the shot. Go ahead and move. Move your gun. Shoot him when you can. Dude, wait till he stops. There's going to be a few instances where you're going to have to make a running shot, but if at all possible, you want that coyote to be standing still. Your chances of success and hits are going to go way up. Once I told myself to do that, I should put a lot more coyotes in the truck, and here would be a perfect example. You can tell the coyote wants to stop. He starts doing that lope like he wants to stop. Tony made the shot just a little prematurely, but just comes with experience. Didn't, unfortunately, get another shot at that one. But on to the next one. We're on to the last stand of the day now, and it's either everybody's favorite stand or their second favorite behind the first stand of the day. Again, we're into new country, high sage. I was worried that I couldn't get both the camera shot and the rifle shot all at the same time with a quick coyote coming in with as much visibility as we had. Fortunately, it didn't work out that way. We started the standoff with some lone howls like we've been doing all day. Later in the season like it is, I love to mix that up, vocalizations with distress. So started out with lone howls. A couple minutes later, went into the 4K9 hand call. A couple minutes later, or about 10 minutes at this point, went into bird distress for another couple minutes. And then about 15-minute mark, I switched to the juvenile red fox distress. I love that sound. I love just the coarse and high pitch. It just kind of hits all the notes. In about 17-18 minutes, we caught this coyote leaving about 300 yards on this nice open spot. Tony and I both saw it about the same time. And after this point in the day, after kind of what we've gone through, I'll be honest, I just did not have a lot of confidence in Tony making that shot. Shoot him when you can, man. you got him. Nice. Nice. Oh,
That's the whack.
dude, I'll be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I did not think that was gonna happen.
I'll be honest, I was trying really hard.
Holy crap, nice.
Hit it on a good one, baby.
Yeah. A little bit of walk. 350 yards is what that coyote eventually stopped at. Tony just hammered him. It was a great way to end the stand, a great way to end the day. But this is just day number one. We have a couple more days out coming up here with Nate, Aaron, and Ryan. We're meeting up with super guys. It was just a blast of a trip. But that video is coming up next, so you just have to stay tuned.